let me tell y'all how good God is, and how he will confirm your purpose, and how he will hear your prayers and confirm the things that you ask of him, if they are in alignment with his purpose for you, and if it's in alignment with his will for you. So after I made part 1 of my testimony, I'm not gonna lie, I felt uneasy, because I'm like, well, because I didn't feel like I explained myself well. I felt like I was rambling. I felt like my point was just focused solely on what I had done. Honestly, I've always wanted to be a YouTuber ever since I was in middle school. But I didn't see it something that was tangible for me, honestly. And I never really had support in doing it, so I just didn't do it. But then once I found out my purpose and I began to like dive in on YouTube, I realized that if I'm going to do anything, that I have to glorify God. So that's why this YouTube channel is taking a so much different direction than I would have done if I was just coming on here as just wanting to be a YouTuber. No, I made this channel to glorify God, but I still was just like hesitant, because I'm like, well, I don't know, maybe God doesn't want me on YouTube. So the first day of classes for this semester, one of my classmates came up to me after class, and she was like, Z, I looked back like, and she was like, when's part 2 coming of your testimony? And I'm like, and in my head I'm like, because I had been praying and asking God, like, you know, is YouTube something I'm supposed to do? Like, is this creating a YouTube ministry, or just ministry in general, something that I'm supposed to do? And just by her coming up to me and asking me about part 2, and because I told her, I was like, I don't know, I feel like, you know, it just made me look a certain type of way. But she was just like, no, like, I've been waiting for part 2. So if you watch this, which I know you will, shout out to Kat from my class, because I feel like God was speaking through her to me, letting me know you're ready to go. One thing that I have realized on this journey with the Lord is that I don't work on my own timing. I work on God's timing. So I have to do things in order and in the right timing, because that's when it's going to be the right timing to do things. But I do want to say again, shout out to Kat, because if she wouldn't have come up to me, if the Lord wouldn't have brought that to me, then I wouldn't have done this video, or I would have waited months and months to do this video. So that's just a demonstration of how God will just confirm something to you and just give you a tap on the back and be like, it's go time. And that was my go time moment. So I just thank Kat so much for coming up to me after class, and here is part 2. Okay, so hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for tuning in. If this video just randomly pops up on the YouTube algorithm thing, then thank you for clicking on this video. So this is part 2 of my testimony. If you guys haven't watched, then I recommend you go back and watch part 1, because I'm basically going to be starting off from where I left off in part 1. So as you guys know from part 1, I'm gonna just give a little bit of backstory in case you don't watch it first and you come across this video. So basically, this is my testimony of how I was in the New Age religion beliefs. I had New Age ways of thinking, and I came to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. In my last video, I ended with telling y'all that about the whole roots and everything that I did concerning the person that I was involved with, and how I ended up breaking the candles and breaking everything. And I God saved me from that, and after that I never went back. So let's just start off there. I did not mention in my last video that I was saved once, but I was baptized twice. So I got saved when I was 14 years old. I got saved because I thought that the world was going to end. I believe that was like back in 2012, when somebody came out and said that the world was going to end, and that's before I really knew well, no, yeah, that's before I really knew the word, and basically like no man knows the time or the hour that God is going to come back. But it was this theological thing going around that the world was going to end and everything like that. So I did get scared. Not gonna lie, I got scared, and when we was in church one day, I told my mom I wanted to get saved, and I got up when he was doing the altar call, and I got saved. And it was for the wrong reasons, but I knew, I had the knowledge of knowing, okay, if we do die and the world does end, I don't want to go to hell. So that's basically why I got saved. But obviously it was for the wrong reasons, so there it goes. But that time I got baptized after I got saved, and then I got baptized another time again, which I'm about to get into. So I ended up leaving Winthrop after my first year. I took a semester off because of all that was going on, and just, it was a lot of, my mental state just was not there. My parents also complained about the cost of going to Winthrop, so it was just like I had to figure something out. So I decided to I decided to leave Winthrop for a semester, and in that semester I began working. After that semester was over, I ended up going to a different school, which I'm not going to disclose, but I ended up transferring to a different school, and that's the school that I will be graduating from in May. And when I got there, you know, it was uneasiness. I didn't really have, you know, my parents there to be there with me, and it's not their fault. It's just certain circumstances. So I transferred to the school I'm going to now, changed my major. And so let me tell you where God plays into this. So the first week of school, I don't know if this is at every school, I think it is, but you know that first week of school when everybody's just new and they're just coming in, so you have like the organizations and different things lined up and like trying to recruit people basically. So I was walking, and I think I was going to class. And so I was walking, I wasn't really paying attention to nobody, and I see this girl. I was walking like up the stairs, and I see this girl, and she's like, she gives me, like, she has like the flyers in her hand, and she's like, hey, what did she say? I don't remember exactly what she said to me, so I'm not gonna try to, you know, say something that she didn't say. But it basically was about joining a on-campus ministry. And I was just like, yeah. And she was just so sweet and nice. Her name is Sarah. So if you ever watch this video, Sarah, thank you so much, because you were a pivotal part of changing my life. And you don't really know how much that meant to me. So I told her yes, and she gave me the flyer. And I guess I can say the name of the organization. So the name of the organization is Chi Alpha. Not sure if that's at everybody's school, but it's an on-campus ministry at my school. And I did, you know, normally, sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I do lie and say that I'm gonna go to things that people invite me to and I never go. But I did feel led to go with her. And also, I believe we might have exchanged, I don't know if we exchanged numbers. I think we did exchange numbers, because I believe she ended up texting me, but like I said, my memory is really shot, because this was in 2018. So let me tell you, this was in 2018. So anyway, fast forward, I ended up attending like a church service on campus, like a Bible, was it a Bible study? No, it was just like a church service, like a glory service on campus that Chi Alpha was having. And I'm not gonna lie, I did feel uncomfortable, because I do go to a PWI, and majority of the people that was there were of another, you know, of different race. But, you know, it's fine, because we're all the human race. But at that time, I was just getting out of the new age African spirituality. So I'm just like, it ain't no black people in here. But it didn't make me stray away, because Sarah was just so nice, and I could feel her genuineness. So in the on-campus ministry, they had small groups, and I was a part of Sarah's small group, and it was other girls that came along too. And so after that, we started having small group. I believe it was every Wednesday night, so it was like once a week, every Wednesday night. And in the small groups, you know, we just talked about God. Sarah would have like a basis of what she was going to talk about. And we'll read the Bible, talk about God. Sometimes we'll play games and do like interactive stuff concerning learning about Jesus. Yeah, so I was involved with that, and I met some other girls who also love Jesus. And, you know, that led me up until I believe that would lasted for like a year. Yeah, I believe that lasted for like a year. And I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I did get off track because, as we all know, this walk with Christ is a journey. And sometimes you may fall off, but the goal is to just get back on the right path, because Jesus will always be there to help you along the way. So after that, a lot of what happened was relationships, because I always had a problem with being alone. From an early age, I had a problem with being alone. So relationships got into the way of the path that God had me on. Wanting a relationship, wanting somebody to be there with me, no matter if that person hurt me or no matter if that wasn't the right person for me. I just wanted somebody to be there for me. So relationships got me off track a good bit, and I'm sure that somebody else can relate to the fact that relationships that are not sent by God will get you off track. And if you're watching this and you're in a relationship and you know that's not a relationship that you need to be in, I am telling you, please do your best to get out of it. It's going to be hard and it's going to be tough, but the only person that could comfort me and that could help me to heal from relationships was not anybody physically on this earth. It was the man up above. So in that, I want to also say that from 2017 up until now, I've been on a celibacy journey. I say celibacy journey because in 2017, that's when I got the book The Wait by Megan Good and Devon Franklin. And I wanted to be celibate. I thought it was beneficial, but anytime I got into a relationship with somebody, that went out the window. And I'm not gonna lie, it just went out the window because I felt like I needed to give them sex in order for them to love me, in order for me to make them happy. So also I want to include that because fast forward to now, I am celibate, and I have been celibate for some months now, and I don't desire sex. I don't desire anything that I used to desire, and I just thank God for it. And I'm telling y'all, like, it was only God that did it, because our flesh wants that, our flesh craves that, but that's not what our spirit needs. And also, I lost a lot of worth having sex with just a lot of different people, because I'm not gonna lie, now I was a hoe, so let's just get that clear. I was a little hoe now, you feel me? And I'm not smiling because I'm proud of that. I'm smiling because it's just the truth. I was a hoe. Like, I just wanted to feel something. I just wanted to let it go. I don't know, but yeah. When I fast forward 2019, so like I said, I was still in the on-campus ministry and things like that. And like I said, I was getting into relationships that weren't beneficial for me. I think during that time though, I still wasn't fully, let go of the new age. I still was into zodiac signs. Oh, let me stop. And I'm sorry if this video is gonna be all over the place, but I hope it kind of just sits together, even though it's separate. But let me go back, because it's a lot that I didn't say in part one. I pretty much focused on the whole roots thing. And that was because that's something that I guess I feel like I needed to confess, because I never confessed it to anybody. So why not confess it to strangers on YouTube? But anyway, so I never confessed it to anybody. But going back to the root things, as I was saying in part one, a lot of what drew me into New Age was social media. Now, I'm not saying that social media is the devil or the enemy, but I feel like a social media is a place where a lot of demonic influences are present. And I say that because on social media, that's where I began to see things about the Ankh being the real cross. No. No. The Ankh is not the real cross. The cross is the real cross. So let's just get that straight. And it was just a lot of things that just came from, and I think I said this in part 1, that just came from that slavery mentality that we just shouldn't trust the white man. And because white people during that time did manipulate the Bible to use it to their advantage, we're still in that mindset. But what I try to tell people is that it doesn't matter how anybody tries to manipulate the Bible. The Bible is the Bible, and it speaks for itself if you truly read it and get an understanding for yourself. I just got the understanding last night about 1 Peter because, so let me get this. Thank you, Lord. Thank you. So I was reading 1 Peter last night, and it finally hit me what the Lord was saying about, I'm not sure the actual verse, but I know it's in 1 Peter. I think it's in the 2nd chapter, or I think it's in the 2nd chapter, and it's talking about not doing evil, not retaliating, not being evil to people who do you wrong and things like that, and about obey your slaves. Obey your masters. And it's something else. I'm still in the process of learning, so I can't really quote everything, but I know it says like obey your masters, So a lot of people, because white people manipulated the Bible and said to obey your masters to slaves, people still hold on to that, and they're like, well, how could that be in the Bible? But basically what the Lord was just saying is, no matter how bad somebody treats you, and it can be, and we can see it now, because if you think about it, government is a certain form of a master, because we have to obey laws. Our bosses at work, because we have to obey the policies and the things that they have in place. But so basically what we're saying is, no matter how bad they might treat you, still obey them and still be good to them, because that is what makes God happy. That is what that is the right thing to do. That is the righteous thing to do. So I just wanted to clarify that in case somebody might run across the video and they were struggling with that. It's because Jesus, when he walked this earth, no matter how bad those people, no matter how bad the Pharisees did him, he himself did not retaliate. He was still kind to the people who did him wrong. He still obeyed the laws. He still did what was righteous to do. He did good even to those people who did him wrong. And that honors the Lord. So I just wanted to include that. But anyway, let's get on with the testimony. So I kind of was still like going to church and trying to really like know God, but I wasn't really in the Bible, and it was because I had a hard time understanding the Bible. And I think for a lot of us as baby Christians or wanting to learn the Bible, it's hard, especially when you don't have that support. But like I said, I was in a small group, so that helped me to have that support. And so I just couldn't get in a word. I just felt like I couldn't really understand or know the meaning or anything. But what I would advise is to pray before you read the Bible, so he can give you an understanding of what you're reading. And so when I got into my last relationship, I tried to uphold the celibacy thing and all of that, but it just wasn't flowing. Before I talk about my past relationship though, when I was doing what I was doing, right, I knew what I was doing was wrong, but I used to look up stuff, and it would tell me like, oh, as long as you do white magic and not black magic, then you're okay. No. No, that is false. Magic is still magic, and it's dark, and it brings demonic entities that is going to be hard to fight off, but you can fight them off with Jesus. I also want to say, I notice a lot of my generation is into crystals. And honestly, when I was going through my spiritual thing, I was never into crystals. I would see people wear them, or I would see them on display, like, oh, this is for healing. Oh, this is for power. This is for money. But what I say to that is, you don't need a rock, because essentially that's what a crystal is. A crystal is a rock, a different colored rock. You don't need a rock to bring money to you. You don't need a rock to bring love to you. You don't need a rock, or pray to a rock, or worship a rock, or put a rock around your neck in order to get anything. God provides everything. And if you are struggling with that, I would suggest that you get on your knees and you pray about it. You don't need any, like, why would you want to have to wear something or worship something of like a rock in order to gain anything, when you literally have one source to go to? You don't need to have a collection of crystals to bring you things. You have literally one person and one source to go to, and you have to get to him through Jesus Christ. But we're talking about God. So I just want to let y'all know that if you're struggling with the whole crystal thing, please, those crystals, it's just, and also I want to say too, I realized this after the fact, but when I was doing what I was doing before, y'all, like, I was broke. Like, excuse me, I was broke. Like, I was literally like opening up credit cards in order to pay for the things that I needed, the spells and all of that. I was like literally going broke, and it made me realize that that is a business for them. Believe me when I say that is a business. When you go to these people to do these things, when you go to these people to get readings, spiritual guidance, it is a business. They are making a ton of money off of your pain, all because you think that you need to go to these people, that they're going to give you the answers about your life, that they're going to give you the answers about what job you need to take, that they're going to give you the answers about anything in your life. But nobody has the answer but God. Let me say that. Nobody, no man has the answers. You can directly go to him through prayer, and he will give you the answers. You don't need to pay nobody to give you any answers or guidance of that kind. So let's jump back into my previous relationship. I'm not going to go into detail. I will say that it was a very toxic relationship. It was a very detrimental relationship to me. But I don't blame the other party. I blame myself, because I knew that I shouldn't have been with this person from the beginning, and I still chose to, because I didn't want to be alone. So in that toxicity and in all of that, what happened was, it was volatile, and it left me very broken, and it left me very broken. Like, I was still going to school, right? And so in 2020, the spring semester, I just completely stopped doing my work. I stopped showing up to class. I stopped everything, because when I was in class, I remember, like, I just couldn't focus. And I was so worried about what this person was doing when they weren't with me, that it was just detrimental. It was just detrimental to me. Oh, I'm sorry, my leg, my foot, my something going to sleep. Yeah, so it was just so detrimental to me, and it took a toll on me. And so in 2020, around Thanksgiving time, a little bit before Thanksgiving time, I ended up finding out that the person that I was with was cheating on me the whole time. And also, I want to say that during that relationship, I had gotten so much anxiety. I was depressed. I stopped wanting to work. I stopped wanting to be able, and I also had my own apartment at that time, and I just stopped providing, like being able to provide for myself. My father had to help me. I thank God for that. But I was in such a deep, dark place when I tell y'all, that relationship honestly almost killed me, for one, and it almost ruined me. And to give you an example of how toxic and how volatile it was, I'm gonna say this. It was an incident where my partner at the time was going to Maryland, and I had to work that day that he was going. But because I had already found out that he was cheating, I thought that he was going to Maryland to meet up with a girl or something. So literally, like, I fought him on wanting me to come or letting me come, and he was gonna leave me, but I just insisted on coming. We go to Maryland, and basically the same night we get there, or was it the next? No, the same night we get there, I ended up in the hospital in these psychiatric unit that same night we got there. In Maryland, don't know nobody, alone. I'm not from Maryland. I don't have family in Maryland, nothing. I was there alone. Ended up in the psychiatric hospital because when we was in the room, I tried to take a lamp cord, and tied around my neck and tried to, I guess I just wanted to pass out. No, I just wanted to pass out so he could I don't know. I don't know if it was for attention or if he could see the reality of how he hurt. I don't know. But it was a very scary moment in my life, especially being out of state. And then when I was in the mental unit at the hospital, I was just in there. I just slept all the time until they let me out the next day. I guess my blood pressure was up so bad that a blood vessel had burst in my eye. And unfortunately, the thing about it is, since I didn't have family and nobody in Maryland, my partner at the time, had to come pick me up the next morning. So it was physically abusive, mentally abusive, and that was on both parts. I want to say, I'm not going to sit up here and not take the blame for my part, because I did a lot too, a lot. I would say that the blame is 50-50, honestly, because regardless of things, I played a part. And because of that, like I said, in 2020 in spring semester, and mind you, from 2019 to 2020 to June, I had my own apartment, right? And the time that I had my apartment, I was in this relationship. I had some close friends, and honestly, we was just partying all the time, drinking, smoking. I found pleasure in the turn up, just like any young college student or whatever would. I found pleasure in the turn up. I just wanted to drink. I just wanted to have fun. Like, that was my life at the time, and not knowing that it's not something that I would want to do, but I just did it because that was my life. Like, that was just what it was. In 2020, around a little bit before Thanksgiving, I found out my partner had been cheating on me the whole time with his ex-girlfriend. And that's when I knew, like, okay, I'm done. Because it has been many times where it was like a breaking up, getting back together, breaking up, getting back together thing. And it was a lot of disrespect. It was a lot of disrespect. A lot. But breaking up, get back together, breaking up, getting back together, breaking up, getting back together. And so after that, I was like, okay, I have to be done. Because I actually talked to the girl. And so, like, I just had to be done. Had to be done. And so after that, I honestly didn't know where to go. Oh, let me rewind because now things are coming to my memory. So I had found out previously in early 2020 that he had went on a dating app and was talking to another girl during the time after he cheated on me, after he had told me that he wanted to fix it, work things out. He went and was talking to a girl for, I don't know, like 2 weeks on this dating app. And when I seen it, that took me over the edge, and I didn't know what to do. So during that time after that, I broke up with him, and I went back to my father's house to go, like, just be around my father. So I wouldn't be alone in my apartment. And that's when I began to read the Bible. But let me tell you how good God is. God led me to a specific book in the Bible, which is now my favorite book in the Bible, and that is Proverbs. I believe during that 2-week period, I read the whole book of Proverbs because it just seemed like everything in Proverbs was speaking to me. And I'm like, oh God, like you're really speaking. And what it did was it was helping me to heal, because I would just be laying on the couch just sad, just down, like depressed. I was just down and depressed, and God just led me to Proverbs for me to read Proverbs, and it was giving me so much wisdom and so much insight about God, and about just everything that I was going through. And although it was helping me, I'm not gonna lie and say that after those 2 weeks of me just crying and feeling sad and all of that, I went back to my ex. So fast forward after November, when I found out he was talking to his ex, fast forward after that, that's when I said enough is enough. And I, totally ended it. And so after that, I began to talk to this other dude, and he wasn't right for me either. Wasn't right for me either. We never was in a relationship, but I was back having sex, and I was just back just doing what I was doing. But at the same time, I was still aware of God, and I was still aware of the path that Jesus wanted for me to go. I just was still stuck in the world, so in the world I didn't know how to do it. So fast forward to last year, 2021, I just got tired of the same cycles. The person that I was talking to after my ex, that wasn't going well, and I was just tired of repeating the same patterns. That's what really got me. I was tired of repeating the same patterns. I was tired of meeting people who just would hurt me and like would feel no remorse. I was just tired. And so that's when in 2021 in April, God had called me to fast, and I did a fast from 6. It was a partial fast, and I did a fast from 6 to 6. I was working at the time. God had allowed me to get a job at a clothing store, which actually only played Christian music. So you see how God was working? Yeah, I know. You see how God was working. So I only played Christian music, and the job was cool. I was familiar with retail, so it was cool. And I began to do this fast, and y'all, when I did this fast, I don't know how many days I had set for this fast. It might have been like 5 days. I think I only got to 4, but y'all, this fast changed my life. This what helped me to leap into the Lord. This what set me up. You could just see the glory and the joy in my face. This what set me up. This fast stuck with me. And even though I wasn't partially fasting the whole entire time, I still wasn't eating meat for 2 weeks. So I just felt clean. I just felt like my spirit was clean, and my spirit was just renewed in God. I began to pray more. I remember, y'all, during this partial fast, I prayed like every day, like 5 times a day, 6 times a day, just talking to God, because he was just so good. And I was beginning to see the blessings on my life, and it just felt so good. So I did that, and what else happened? I did that, and I leaped into it. But after that, I kind of started back doing what I was doing. After those 2 weeks, I began back drinking. I did eventually have sex. I didn't have sex immediately after that, but I did eventually have sex. I started counseling. I only stayed in counseling for 3 sessions. And it's nothing against counseling, but I just feel like God is sufficient enough for me at least. God is sufficient enough for me. So, and when I was at the counselor, I was just talking to, because you know that you have to talk to the counselor. You have to talk to the counselor, and talk through things. But I was just talking to myself, finding solutions as I'm talking to the counselor. So the whole 60-minute session was me talking to myself, saying, oh yeah, this is what I need, and this is what I need to do. And then the counselor is just like, yeah. So I'm like, okay, waste of $60, and I ain't got no money. But fast forward, after that, I was still in the world. I still went back to the world. Still was doing what I was doing. began back having sex, got back on dating apps. I was on dating apps a lot. I don't think I mentioned that, but like after my last relationship, I got on dating apps so heavy. I would get on there, get off, get on there, get off, get on there, get off, get on there, get off. Like, it was ridiculous. I did not have any self-worth. I just didn't have no self-worth. I didn't have no confidence. I knew I was beautiful. I was all right, but I don't know. I just wanted love, so I was just back and forth on the dating apps, meeting people off dating apps, and it was honestly so dangerous what I was doing. But I was just meeting people off dating apps, talking to people off dating apps, talking to people off dating apps, and that's one thing that I want to say right now about dating apps. I want to say to y'all about dating apps, like, listen. I'm not faulting anybody. I'm not, and this is not like a dig at anybody, but if you're on a dating app, I would advise you to seek God in His direction when it comes to dating, because it's a lot of people on dating apps that prey on people on dating apps, if you get my gist. So a lot of people that go on dating apps, they're looking at people on dating apps and saying, oh, these people are insecure. These people can't find anybody. And that's why they're on dating apps. So it's like preying on people. Y'all know people get on dating apps just to prey on people's insecurities, just to gain something from them. And when they gain it from them, they leave. And I know this for a fact. So I just want to say that, just seek God when it comes to dating and relationships, please, because this coming from me, from a person who was insecure, from a person who didn't have confidence, from a person who was going on dating apps because I just wanted somebody to love me. But all people that are on dating apps are not looking to love you. They're looking to gain something from you so they can get on and go to the next. And it's a lot of narcissistic people on dating apps. I do want to say that because that is the truth. Because a lot of times if you see people on dating apps multiple times, they have their account, they're gone, and they have their account, they're gone. Watch out. And watch out for those dating apps. Seriously, guys, please watch out for those dating apps. I'm not going to say it's nothing good that comes out of a dating app, but I feel like you don't need Tinder, you don't need Bumble, you don't need all these dating apps to find love. God will send you somebody when the time is right. Let's fast forward to 2021 of last year. And yeah, so last year, also on my journey, I began losing people. I lost a lot of friends, or people that I thought were my friends. I just lost. Hey! Y'all, it's a bird right here, and this bird literally like just walked up. Can y'all see him? It feels like that's God. I just feel like that's God sent. Like, He's just right behind me. But anyway, y'all. So last year I lost a lot of people. I lost a lot of friends. I started doing look. Hey, little buddy. Come here. He looked at me and ran off. He looked at me and ran off wobbling. That's so funny, bro. That's so lit. Like, I feel like that was God just coming around me, like, making me feel secure. That's so amazing. Look at God. So yeah, I lost a lot of friends. I started doing drugs last year. I was smoking heavy, and I began to do ecstasy. Some people call them beans. I began to do ecstasy and all of that. Y'all, it was a mess. Yeah, it was a mess because I could have gotten laced, but it was a mess. But God has delivered me from ecstasy. He delivered me last year from doing ecstasy. I just couldn't do it no more after I found out that nobody knows what's in them most of the time, and then a lot of times it is like meth in them, and I didn't know that it was cocaine in them. So Yeah. So God did deliver me from doing those, and I'm so glad, because I do not want to do no ecstasy. Okay, it makes you feel good. It made me happy, so I thought, but it was only a temporary feeling. And a lot of drugs and alcohol, it's only temporary feeling, and you can't put something temporary in place of something permanent, if that makes sense. So you can't fill the void of whatever you're going through that is ongoing with something temporary, because you're gonna keep doing it. So yeah, to that. But last year though, like around like September, I kind of like fully just surrendered to God. I like literally like fully surrendered to God, and was just like, okay God, like we're doing this, like it's just me and you. And after that, man, it's just been up from there. It's just been up from there, man. Like, I'm just learning so much more about Jesus and who he was, and about just everything concerning him and God and happiness and joy and love. And I'm learning love from knowing Jesus, because Jesus so loved God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. Jesus loved the people so much. He hated seeing people cry. Like, Jesus was so compassionate, so gentle, so kind-hearted, and so faithful to God. And also reading 1 Peter last night, it just made me want to just be more holy and just really know God for who he was, so I can help other people to know God. And also through gaining a relationship with the Lord, he told me what my purpose was, and that's why I named this YouTube channel Mind Outcasted Ministries, because I do believe I'm supposed to be in ministry. And I just thank God for that, for leading me to my purpose. And through ministry, you know, it's so many things to do, but helping others is my passion. So I just love serving people, and I've been doing that a lot now. Like, I love serving the homeless, helping the homeless, and I love just helping anybody that I can help, and I just thank God for that. So fast forward to now, I am in a great space. I am closer to God than I've ever been in my life. God has been ordering my steps and my directions. I do go to church. I don't have a church home just yet, but I do go to church. I pray more. I learn about quiet time with God and about meditation through the Bible, because the meditation that they teach in the new world is just about breathing. It is just about your mind being still. But the true meditation comes from reading the scripture and then meditating in order to hear what the Lord is saying to you. So yeah, I'm just in a great space, and this is my testimony of how I came to know God. He's helped me work through so much in my life as far as healing myself, because when I was out in the world, I just thought that I could do everything by myself, that I was the one healing myself, when in reality, the permanent healing comes from the one up above. And I'm so thankful for y'all for tuning in and watching my testimony, and I'm just thankful for this opportunity in this moment. I feel the Holy Spirit in my heart so strong. I feel the Holy Spirit right now, and I just thank God, and I am walking in my purpose, and you can too. Just pick up your Bible, begin to pray if you don't know where to start, and I promise you the Lord will bring you through whatever you are going through. Okay, you guys, so after filming, I realized that I didn't even tell y'all about my second baptism. So my second baptism was actually done through the woman that I was telling y'all about, Sarah. During my time in her small group, I did tell her that I didn't want to get baptized again, because I felt like I got saved for the wrong reasons. And you know, she was telling me how, you know, once you get saved, you don't have to get saved again, but you can get baptized again. So I decided to get baptized again, solidifying that I am actually giving myself to God for the right reasons. So she did end up baptizing me at our school's gym pool, and that was my second baptism, and that was in 2018. Yeah, so that's when I got baptized for a second time. So thank you for watching this video again. Until next time. Peace.